actually get started talking about 203K, I just want to ask everybody a quick question, and we have the ability for you to raise your hand so we can actually make this an interactive conversation. So I'm going to ask Amanda if she would just lower everybody's hands, and she's already done it. She reads my mind. So before we get started, I'd just like to ask this quick question. How many of you here feel that your value to your clients should not end with the home inspection? Raise your hand. Excellent. Thank you so much. And let me ask you another question. How many of you feel and believe that you should be paid based upon the work that you do, not just a scale that is based upon your competition? Raise your hand if you think that you should be paid based upon the quality and the value and the information of the work that you do. Wow, a lot of hands went up quicker than that. Well, last thing is, how many of you raised your hand to both of those questions? Excellent. Well, congratulations, everyone. You are in the right place, and you know how to raise your hands. This is great. And I want to welcome you all to Leveraging Your Skills for Profit and Freedom. My name is Catherine Hall, and the first thing I want to do is I just want to thank you all so much for just being here today. Many of you were here. I met many of you at the conference in Kentucky, and also at the conference my staff met many of you at Fort Lauderdale. And so I just want to thank you all so much for just showing up, because you have many other things you could be doing right now. How many of you right now have inspection reports that you really should be working on right now, that you know you're going to have to get out by the morning? Raise your hand. Okay. About 50% of you, and we have about 50 people on the call, so about 25 people have raised their hand. Well, I'm just going to ask you just to give me your commitment for the next 45 minutes that you will devote your undivided attention to this presentation, because it will help you to be able to do the following three things. One, we're going to help you leverage your existing skills so that you don't need to buy any additional equipment, you don't need to learn how to use any kind of new tools. You're going to increase your profit, make more money per inspection, decrease the amount of time and effort it's going to take you to be able to do the inspections that you do for your clients and to be able to convert your income. And it's also going to create you a business strategy that you can use to grow your business or for a retirement vehicle and to downsize. So, all while improving your neighborhoods one home at a time. I'm going to help you learn how to capitalize your unique and specialized wealth of knowledge in a way that will free up more time for you and increase your bottom line. So, this is something that in many cases is going to be useful if you're looking to scale back your business. Because as you know, many times growing your business or scaling it back comes with usual financial downturns. While you're trying to create a profitable relationship to bring your business up or to scale it back, many times you take a hit financially. Well, this is a new way. With 203K Consulting, you can actually accomplish all those things while not having to have that associated financial dip. So now, as I mentioned in just last week in Kentucky, in Frankfort, Kentucky, which is a suburb, I believe, or an outskirts of Louisville, where I had a fantastic time connecting with the Kentucky Real Estate Inspection Association members. We loved it there. We love going to Korea every year. One of the things I talk about is the fact that I believe that you will not hear a person's words until you know who that person is. And so before I actually begin telling you about the 203K business, I'm just going to take just about 3 minutes, no more, to tell you a little bit about who I am. So, as I mentioned in Kentucky, I did not come out of the womb becoming a home inspector. In fact, I actually had plans to go into the performing arts. I never intended to become a home inspector, and then when I decided not to be in the performing arts, I went on to become an electrical engineer. So my goals were to be able to use the skills that I had in ways that were totally unrelated to home inspection. But then I did. I started a home inspection company, and with that company I grew, and I developed a real estate training academy. And in that real estate training academy, we taught continuing education credits to real estate agents. And you want to know what the biggest topic, the most requested topic that we had was? How to do a 203K. That was the most important topic that they wanted us to talk about. And because I was able to successfully leverage my skills as an FHA consultant to my multi-inspector firm, literally by giving them a box with all the training tools and certification requirements that they were able to do it on their own, I actually packaged it and turned it into the 203K in a Box FHA Consultant Training and Marketing System. And out of that, with the growth of that organization, with the number of members that we developed, my next step was to create the National Association of FHA Consultants. And we are very proud and honored to be the only association to the success and competency of individuals involved in the 203K industry. So that's a little bit of my background. It tells you a little bit about what my journey has been in my career in the home inspection and residential construction industry. So let's talk about you. So now let me ask you this. Who here is trying to grow their business? Well, who isn't? And when we're trying to grow our business, many times one of the hardest things to do is getting in front of the real estate agents, because it's not easy as it used to be. Real estate agents aren't going to their offices. They're working from home. There's really no way to reach these individuals effectively, because what you need to do is you need to find where they are. And so when is the most time that you get to see real estate agent? Well, when you're out doing a home inspection. So now let me ask you this question. What is a home inspection really? Many times we talk about the fact that a home inspection is for consumer protection. We're here to help a buyer make an informed decision about the property that they're about to purchase. We're here to prevent them from buying something that's going to cause them extensive financial downturns after they purchase it. But really, if you think about it, a home inspection is a detour to closing. In fact, in many cases, buyers will say to you as you walk into the house with them, I sure hope you don't find a lot of things at this property because I really love this home and I want to own it. And what kind of a position does that put you in? So are we really an avenue to success in the home buying process, or are we a roadblock? Something they have to get over, something they have to get around, something they have to overcome. So in reality, the report that we give is vital information, valuable resource, and definitely something that every buyer should have. But it also is something that can potentially stop a buyer from buying a home. And if that's the only opportunity we have to talk to the real estate agents, well, what are we doing there? We're giving them information that's going to make their job a little bit harder and upsetting their buyer, many times not in a way we want to do, but a situation that's going to become an issue. When we do a home inspection, we provide the list of reports. We talked in Kentucky and in Fort Lauderdale about the fact that when you go out and you find something that is older and not working correctly, we report it as unsatisfactory. And in many cases, that information is given to a seller, and the seller then corrects the problems, and then the person can move on to buy the home, or they negotiate for the repairs to be completed. But what if the property that is being purchased is with an FHA buyer, and those repairs are necessary safety and soundness concerns, otherwise known as minimum property standards? Who's going to fix the property if the property is foreclosed? Who's going to fix the property if it's an upside-down seller and they don't have any money? More importantly, what happens to the amount of time you spend inspecting the home on the right? You know this home. You walk up to it and you pull up in your car and you look at the house and you say to yourself, oh my goodness, I'm going to be here forever. Yet the fee that you get to charge for this inspection is the same as you get to charge for the house this morning that was built 3 years ago and had almost nothing wrong. You know the phrase, sometimes you bite the dog and sometimes the dog bites you. Well, what do you do when you are helping a buyer by providing all this useful, valuable information about repairs, but there's no one to fix them? There's no way for them to be able to take the house from unsatisfactory, from failing an FHA appraisal to habitable and able to move in. Are you looking like the good guy at that point? Not really. And let's talk about what you're doing. We mentioned briefly that if you go out to this property and you're spending a lot of time at that home, many times the buyer doesn't even get a chance to buy it because of the condition of the property. What is the value of your time? So now I'm just going to go by some national averages here. Let's take this for an example. You go out to the inspection and it takes you 2 hours to get there. You spend 2 hours at the property doing an inspection, and to tell you the truth, I met inspectors who actually were spending 3.5 hours at a single-family residential inspection and then another 1.5 to 2 hours writing the report. So these figures are pretty accurate. And then how do you get that business? You pretty much have to make follow-up calls. You have to do Facebook posting. You have to go out and do marketing, visiting real estate offices, home buyer education workshops. Whatever you're doing, you're going to have to spend about 4 hours to generate just one inspection. That's the typical average. So in total, you're spending 11 hours. And the average inspection fee is $350 nationally. So your wages, as it were, are $31.50 an hour as a home inspector. Now that's not too bad, but here's the important thing I want you to think about. You just gave the person a report that says to them things are not what they want it to be, and in these cases that we described, in many cases about 41% of the time, especially in Kentucky, 41% of home buyers are using FHA insured mortgages. Those items that you point out that might also be considered FHA minimum property standard deficiencies, they have to be repaired prior to closing or the borrower cannot get the loan. So what does a customer do? And what can you do? How can you be a difference maker? Well, 203K Consulting is one way to do so. So now why would you do it? What is the benefit of doing an FHA 203K Consultant? Well, FHA 203K Consulting allows you to identify for a purchaser of the property. And as a consultant, we don't refer to them as buyers, we refer to them as borrowers. It allows you to identify for the borrower the repairs that need to be done to meet FHA minimum standards, and it lets them fix the repairs after closing by adding the cost of the repairs to the mortgage. You as an FHA consultant, you get paid by the borrower at the time of service based upon the amount of repairs. So here you can see these are the fees that HUD has established for 203K consulting services. And the good news is there is right now a public policy opinion being requested of consultants to ask us what we would like our fees to be moving forward. And that means the fees are only going to go up, because as of last month on the 14th, the fees for draw inspections went up to $200 per draw. So as you can see, you get paid for what you do by the borrower at the time of the inspection. Now some of you have asked the question to me in the field when I've come and talked to you, what buyer is going to pay $750? Well, first of all, they have to pay the fee, otherwise they can't get the loan, and they can't get the loan, they can't get the house that they want. And two, all fees that they pay you as an FHA consultant are added to the mortgage and then deducted from their closing costs. So it's that much less money they need to bring to the table. So again, there's no fee resistance or obstruction from your customer for the services. So let's look at what the fees are that you charge just before closing. Before closing on a typical $35,000 project, you charge your home inspection fee. Why? Because as you may know, HUD has said to everyone when they're purchasing a property, every potential home buyer has to sign a form that says that they understand that they are going to get a home inspection. And that if they don't get a home inspection, that they understand that they are assuming all of the risk of not getting that service performed. A matter of fact, I'm going to show you on the screen right now a form that I think that every one of us should have as a pop-up on your website. And there you can see it. This is the government form that every buyer has to sign that says, for your protection, get a home inspection. It indicates appraisal is not a home inspection. And it also indicates that a 203K consultation is not a home inspection. So home inspectors are recommended for every home buyer. And so you can see, and other testing are recommended, radon gas and other safety concerns. So if you don't have this form showing up on your website, and this is the most recent document, this actually does not expire until April 30th, 2018, I'm going to give you a little bonus for being on this webinar today. I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to put it right now in the chat box to everyone so that you actually can download this and be able to add it to your website. So I just sent that to you on your website. And so you can click that link and download this to your website, and you can see this comes directly from HUD. And how much better can that be? So to get back to our information, You're going to charge your typical home inspection fee. In my market, it's around $400. Then I'm going to charge a feasibility review fee. It's an additional $100 that I charge at the property for the extra work that I'm going to do taking information about the 203K. Then I'm also going to charge the client $750 for the work write-up. Again, all before closing. And this doesn't include the fact that I'm also going to likely be offering the buyer the opportunity of a mold inspection, radon testing, termite inspection, septic, well. This number could easily be $1,700 or $2,000 once you add the necessary ancillary fees. So this is a great way for you to be able to earn more money on the single project. And when you're working on that project, you're going to be able to guarantee that the customer is going to get the information that they need at the time they need it. And this is all appropriate for them to be able to buy the home. So now, what you're doing is this. Here's how it works. You go out to the property and you identify for the client what the repairs are that will need to be included for the 203K program, for the FHA insured mortgage. You're going to incorporate approximate repairs, but don't let that upset you. We teach you in the 203K in a Box FHA Consultant Training and Marketing System how to do that. And in addition to that, we have programs that actually provide you with these cost estimates. And then after you give them the preliminary report and they find the contractor, which again we help you identify with them, then all you do is go to closing, and then after closing the client begins work and you begin to collect fees after closing called draw fees. So here's the draw fees. Every time you go out and do a consultation appointment, you get to be paid for going in and inspecting the work that the contractor has done. These are called draws. And for every draw, you get to charge anything you like up to $350 plus mileage per draw. So in this example, I'm just using a reasonable rate that I charge, which is $200. And for this fee that I charge to my client, you can see that I did 3 inspections on a $35,000 project, which is typical. So I did 3 inspections on that $35,000 project, and in addition to that, I had to do 2 change orders. And every time you go out and do a change order, you get to charge more money because that's additional paperwork. So you charge your change order fees, and so the total that you get paid for the draw inspection fees and your change order fee is $834.20. Now, I need you to understand that this is low. Most fees that you get are even higher than this because most borrowers are adding $40,000 to $50,000, $60,000, some up to $200,000 in repairs, and they have 6 draw inspections and usually 6 change orders. So let's look at the total fee. You're earning on this one job before closing $1,250, after closing $834. So now that's a total of $2,084.20 on one $35,000 203K project, just going out once before closing and 3 times after closing. So now take that $2,084 divided by the typical $350 inspection fee we talked about. You would have to do 5.9 or 6 full home inspections with all the associated liability that comes with it just to earn this amount of money. So the question is not why should you do 203K, the question is why not? There's no competition. A matter of fact, I was speaking with a gentleman who's actually on the call today, and I'm so excited that actually so many of you are on the webinar this evening, but this one gentleman is working in an area called Ashland, Kentucky. And in Ashland, Kentucky, I went to search to see what the 203K consultants were in the area, and there were none. He also said that he worked in Irontown, Ohio. Guess what? No 203K consultants in Irontown, Ohio. And he was also working in Huntington, West Virginia. Guess what? 1 in Huntington, West Virginia. So the opportunity is growing. The demand is huge. Lenders all around the country are running to the FHA loans because it provides their borrowers an opportunity to get a mortgage that they otherwise would not be able to qualify for. Here's something really great. 90% of all the business that you get as an FHA consultant does not come from a real estate agent. In fact, most real estate agents don't even involve themselves with this process. They think of it as part of the lending process, so they don't even show up at your appointments. You get your business directly from lenders. In fact, HUD requires that the lender indicate the selection to the borrower of who the consultant should be. And I can tell you right now, there are no existing consultants except those who are in our group who are out there doing the types of things that we do to make lenders stand up and call us. It's also an amazing way to get added to a real estate agency referral list. Why? Because you're not going to just be asked to be putting on that list of vendors as a home inspector. You're going to go to that real estate office and say to them, who do you have on your list for 203K consulting? And they're going to say, what? We don't have anyone on our list. Oh, well, can I be put on your list for an FHA 203K consultant? Here's proof that I'm on the roster, and I have a lot of information that I can share with your company, with your real estate office. Oh, of course. Well, we don't even have that on our vendor list. Well, no worries. Give me your existing vendor list. I'll go back, retype it up for you, and I'll put 203K consulting at the top because numbers typically come before alphabetical numbers. Is that okay? And then they'll say to you, that sounds fine. And the next thing you know, you come back the next day with 5 or 10 copies of this list, or even more if you're really feeling ambitious, and there at the top of the vendor list, it'll say 203K consultant and your home inspection company name. For my company, Value Home Inspections, we're listed twice on the rosters, many times. 203K consultant at the top, and under home inspectors, because our company name begins with the letter V, we're the last listing on that report for home inspectors. And you want to give you a secret? Most people, when they look at any kind of a list, they'll call the first name and the last. That's why a lot of companies start their company names with AAA in the yellow pages or ZZZ, so they get to be either the first or the last. So that's just a little bit of a business tip I hope you don't mind me sharing with you. Another reason why you should consider 203K consulting is the reduced liability. It's almost none. You see, all the liability of a 203K project transfers through to the contractor. And not only does it transfer through to the contractor, but with every 203K project, there is a contingency reserve added to the repair amount that covers the unforeseen problems that may arise. So unlike a home inspector, I never have to worry about a client calling me up saying, hey, you did a home inspection for me, I bought the house, and now my heater's not working. Those problems don't arise for me because if the heater doesn't work, all we have to do is complete a change order to replace the heater out of available funds in the contingency. So now I hear your voices in the background, what if there's no available funds in the contingency? That still isn't a problem because the borrower signed a document saying that they are financially responsible for any out-of-pocket cost it takes to have the property meet FHA minimum property standards. I can tell you right now that in the 25 years I've done 203K consulting, I have never, ever been brought to court on the services as a 203K consultant. Knock on wood. I did that anyway, but it's not really necessary. Your process of doing consultations are quicker. You have less labor-intensive inspections. You're not having to crawl through crawl spaces. You don't have to go on the roof. Your evaluation is the same degree that the appraiser does. The only thing that you're going to have to do that the appraisers are now required to do, and if they don't do it, they're going to look for you to do it for them, is you're going to want to go up into the attic because they're not going to, but they need to have that information. And so you're going to be the resource the appraiser is going to run to give them the information they need. Higher fees, quicker inspections. Why do I say quicker? Well, let's look at it this way. If you go into a vacant shell of a house where all utilities are turned off as a home inspector, you're there for hours documenting not inspected, unable to evaluate it at the end of its life expectancy, subject to conditions. As an FHA consultant, I go into a property with utilities off, and I just basically put in my write-up, plumber to replace entire plumbing system, including new PEX manifold. Single, I don't have to check it don't work. We're going to gut the house. We're going to add new bathrooms. I'm just going to replace everything in most cases, and so it's real easy to walk around and just simply say, so what do you want to do in here? I want a new kitchen. Perfect. Let's measure it. And you want wood cabinetry and granite countertops, appliance package. Once you know the process, just like home inspection, it's easy to do. And we walk you through every step of the way for your 203K process. So how can you fit this into your business model? It's a great opportunity for you to be able to add this to your business because in addition to becoming a certified 203K consultant, you also will automatically be a qualified minimum property standard reporting inspector. I talked about this in Kentucky. Minimum property standard reporting is something that everyone who's using an FHA insured mortgage needs to understand as part of the process of evaluating the home. There are many ways that your services and skills as an FHA consultant will be used. 203K rehab loans are just one of them. There are conventional renovation loans called Fannie Mae Homestyle and HomePath. Energy efficient mortgages, which is an amazing program that allows a borrower to add money to the mortgage that they don't even have to qualify for to complete energy efficiency improvements and upgrades to their home. They can add up to 5% of the after repaired value of the home, or if they're doing thermal or geothermal or solar, they can add up to 15% of the after repaired value of the property, and they don't have to qualify for the money. So these are the things that you need to understand. Home energy scoring upgrades. Many people are going to find out that with the new home energy scoring upgrades that HUD allows, if their score is 6 or above, they get an extra 4 or 5% on their back end ratio. So that means 5% more that they can actually have as debt to income ratio. And that number increases depending on the score. And HUD has decided that if they're going to get a 203K and the score will be increased as a result of the energy improvements that are going to take place following closing with the 203K, they still let them have that additional debt to income ratio increase. So what you're doing is you're allowing people to buy more homes for less money and easier qualifying. The 203K loan, for those of you who are not aware of it, is a loan that is fully dispersed, and it allows that borrower to purchase, and here's the good news, or refinance the property and establish the escrow account for the cost of the repairs. And may I point out the fact that 203Ks are used about 30% of the time for refinance mortgages, because people have found that it's cheaper to keep her. And think of all the customers you've done home inspection for that you could go back and suggest that if you're considering moving out of your home or you're considering a home equity loan, maybe you might want to stop and reconsider staying in your home with the 203K. How can you use this information? Real estate office education training sessions, home buyer education workshops. You can add this as an upsell to your home inspection services, or better yet, stop leaving money on the table. You may not realize it, but you might be doing a home inspection tomorrow morning for someone who is actually getting a 203K but doesn't say anything to you about it because there's no information on your website or in your material that says that you even are interested in 203K. Do me a favor. Promise me that tomorrow you will ask at your home inspection the following question of your customer early in the transaction. Tell me, how are you buying your home today? FHA, VA, or conventional? Will you raise your hand if you'll agree to ask that question tomorrow and for the next few days of this week? Thank you. Because you're going to find out that that question is going to give you an answer that is going to repeatedly show you that FHA mortgages are being used more than you can think. So now someone just typed in the chat box, I heard you mention this in Kentucky, and I asked yesterday and today. I couldn't believe it. One of my inspections yesterday and both of my jobs today were both FHA. That's why I'm on the call tonight. Well, thank you so much for giving me that information, and thank you for being on the call tonight. So now the question is that everyone says, well, who's doing this? Is anybody doing 203Ks? I don't, how come I never heard about it? Well, let me ask you this question. Have you been getting asked if you can do an FHA inspection? If you've been asked, do you do FHA inspections, you've been asked the question, do you do 203K consultations? Because there is no other FHA inspection except for this. So now what's your answer today? Well, unless you're a 203K consultant, your answer is no. And you just walked away from $2,000. So now a lot of people also have sent in questions. And this FAQ is all about answering your frequently asked questions. So the question is anybody using 203K loans? Absolutely. All around the country, people are doing the 203K mortgage, And they're doing it not just because they have to meet FHA minimum property standards, but because they want to improve the quality of the home that they live in without having to come out of their back pocket or go get high interest credit cards to do the work. Also, a lot of people have asked this question. I thought 203Ks were low income. How much can I borrow to do a 203K? Well, as I mentioned in Kentucky, and again, forgive me if I keep mentioning Kentucky, but most of the people on the call here today are from Kentucky. Thank you so much, my Kentucky friends, and also from Fort Lauderdale, not to mention. But I just pulled these figures up for a Kentucky audience, and this is actually the audiences for Atlanta, Philadelphia, Chicago, most states of the country. The single-family maximum loan limit for a 203K or any FHA loan is $417,000, with a maximum of 4 family mortgages of up to $800,000. The only caveat is the borrower must live in one of those dwellings. In areas like New York City, Los Angeles, the loan limit starts at $625,500 for a single-family residence and goes up from there. So as you can see, this is not for low-income properties. Now, as I said, it's always great to be able to see what you can do to help a customer and to help rebuild neighborhoods. Here's an example of one of my projects. This was the first day of work. The property had been vacant for 13 years. Talk about an eyesore on a neighborhood. Look at all the overgrown trees, and look at the windows actually were boarded up. The contractor had just started taking out the windows to put new windows in. The property was in a beautiful neighborhood, but it was the blight on the block. Today, this home looks like this. As you can see, all those trees were taken down, the house was completely redone, and now it's actually the showplace of the neighborhood. And the borrower is absolutely delighted with the property that they have. But 203Ks are not just for taking a house that's tore up from the floor up, which is actually the name of the TV show that I'm actually working on for 2017, but we did it for a client who had bought a property 4 years previously, and in that property was this home, this kitchen. Now, a lovely kitchen in most cases, from most respects. A beautiful wolf range, high-end range with a hood vent, lovely cabinetry, dishwasher, an island, tile floor, a pot rack. Not a bad kitchen, would you say? But the client wanted and decided to do a 203K, refinance their existing mortgage, and ended up with this. Now, that looks a whole lot better, but it all was done with the client living in the home. And in 5 years, the value of their mortgage had gone up so dramatically, and with the added value that these repairs were going to bring to the buyer, they were able to incorporate this beautiful kitchen into their rehab. They also turned a half bath on the first floor into a 3/4 bath, so that the people coming in from the pool in the backyard could shower right on the ground floor. So these are the possibilities you can do with the 203K. Also, 203K is a wonderful resource to help people who have been taken advantage of. This actually is someone was living up here. You can see the cot. This was the second floor of a home that had had a fire. The contractor had rebuilt the house and stopped at the first floor and never finished the attic. So this is what was left in their home. They couldn't refinance their mortgage because no one would give them a new mortgage with an unfinished second floor. So we were able to take that situation and give that client a home where we were able to give them the information. We were able to take that property and give them back a house that they could enjoy living in. So now what they have is this. There you can see a bedroom and a fully finished area with a pull-down attic and a bathroom. So this is now a livable space. It went from this, as you can see, to that. And we have a happy homeowner who is enjoying the property that they're paying a mortgage on every single day. So now, what do you need to know about 203K consulting? How do you do it? A lot of people have said to me, and one of the FAQs I've gotten is, I don't know how to do minimum property standards. I don't know how to do cost estimating. I don't know how to do 203Ks. Is this going to be hard for me to learn? Well, the first thing you need to know is that 203K consulting, not only is it easy, but it's actually foolproof. And I'm going to see if I can get you to hear what this person is saying on this next slide.
Hi, I'm Brad Johnson, Absolute Inspection Service, and I've been a home inspector for 14 years and a 203K consultant for 4 years. And I just want to tell you, last year I met Catherine, and when after that presentation, it put everything together for me to be able to use the software, and her direction has put my company on a direction where I can do as many 203Ks as I really want to do. Thank you.
And thank you. So he's actually retiring from home inspection now because it got too difficult to be able to lift the ladders and climb in his crawl spaces, and he's pretty much got his business almost exclusively into doing 203K. So this is how I say you can use this to be able to scale back your business, because think about it. If you're going to generate $2,000 from one 203K project, and that takes 5 or 6, you only have to do one to be able to handle what you might be needing for the whole month. So now, I want to give you an idea on what is my typical 203K life story. And this is me. So now, don't believe what I say. Look at the numbers for yourself. Last year, I did on average 15 203K projects a month. I actually scaled back because I'm so busy traveling the country, working with home inspectors and consultants just like you. So I only did 12 initial feasibility study inspections. And at that time, I only actually work in my local home inspection company 3 days a week, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturdays. Wednesdays I do 203K consultations, Fridays I do draws, and Saturdays I do home buyer workshops and an occasional feasibility inspection. So if I'm doing just 3 a week times 4 weeks, that's 12 inspections. So 12 times 4, $100, is $4,800 just for the initial feasibility study. On top of that, I alternate, and sometimes I'll alternate this if I sometimes subtract from this number or add if I'm a really busy girl, 4 streamlined 203K inspections. This is for clients who just want to know what it's going to take to meet the minimum property standards because they're going to be doing something called a limited 203K or streamline, or because they want to find out what they need to ask the seller to fix to go forward with the FHA insured mortgage. And so 4 of those is just $1,600. Just, I say, excuse me. Often I'll find myself doing a seller pre-listing 203K evaluation where we charge them slightly more but give them the cost estimates of what it's going to take to be able to get the home meet minimum property standards. And so what they do is they adjust their sale price to offset that. I'll do 8 work write-ups. And actually my staff does the work write-up because I don't actually need to do anything with it, because with the new software I'm going to show you in a minute, the contractor keys his number into the software, hit submit, and then all we have to do is accept his number and import them in our system. So because we have to do that report, though, we get an additional $350 for that work write-up because we get $750 for the total project. So I just made an additional $2,800 on those 8 work write-ups. And then 20 draw inspections, because I have active 15 to 20 projects each month at $200 per draw, is another $4,000 per month. So just working 3 days a week, I'm earning $13,000 a month. Annually, I made over $133,000. Now, this number was actually done in February. I meant to update that number. Today, being that we're almost at the end of October, I've actually already done 68 jobs. I meant to put the 6 in front of that 8. In February, I had already done 8 jobs, but now I'm up to 68 projects. So, and most of them I farm off to my coworkers to do the draw inspections. We want to let you know that doing 203Ks has gotten better than ever because we now have something called the Genesis 203K Success System. The Genesis 203K Success System includes done-for-you resources for your certification. We had 3 people who submitted their application packages last week get put on the roster today. One was from Florida, one was from California, and the other one was from Illinois. And all of them were able to get their certification, and one of them even actually has gotten a phone call from a lender who saw them on the list already. We give you business referral leads. I'm constantly networking and cultivating relationships with lenders around the country who only want to work with members of the National Association of FHA Consultants. They recognize the quality of our service. They appreciate the integrity of our consultants, and they know of the additional resources we bring to the program, to the process of being an FHA consultant. We also provide you with lender, realtor, and client marketing tools. PowerPoint presentations such as this one, such as the one I'm giving tomorrow to an office of 20 real estate agents, that explain the process of 203K, consultation tools, information and resources, and personalized coaching and mentoring that you have unlimited access to me as your personal mentor, not to mention my staff, which includes Michael Doran and Samantha. Together, the three of us are the royalty of 203K. And we think of you as our 203K knights, because you are out there blazing a trail of success for home ownership for people using the FHA mortgages. So, what do you need to know? With the 203K Day of Discovery Home Study course, you're able to work at your own pace, training to become an FHA consultant. But I can tell you that you can submit your package for certification in as little as 24 actual hours. We provide you the 203K in a Box Elite package. And in this package, we provide you all of the done-for-you tools to submit your application package. Plus, we give you resources, press releases, marketing tools, Contractor 101, information on and tools for you to be able to price your contractor bids. We also give you Diamond Level membership. In the Diamond Level membership, you have access to me as your mentor, ongoing, with my mobile number, my Skype ID, and unlimited one-on-one coaching. So as soon as you get your first call, the next call to do a 203K, the next call is for you to call me so that I can be able to assist you with the activities so that you look like you have 25 years experience as a 203K consultant. And the jewel in our crown is our new and amazing software, the Genesis Rehab Project Creator. This program is a completely web-based program that allows you to be able to enter your reports and interact with the contractor and borrower and lender all through a portal on your website. And it's actually mobile enabled. This program is going to make it easier for you to be a 203K consultant because it actually drives you through the process. I created it, and I created it so that there's a task list. So you don't have to wonder, what do I need to do before I submit my report to the lender? Because it doesn't let you move past this section of the program until you've completed all the necessary tasks. And it keeps track of your program all in line, so you know exactly what projects are at what phase at any point in your activity as a consultant. No other software on the market does this what we do for you, and it's created by, this is the only 203K software that is online, web-based, created for consultants by a consultant. The home study course includes DVDs and CDs and audio recordings so that you actually can study with the workbook everything you need to know. Plus, we actually give you unlimited access to any live training course that we have around the country. And we right now have one coming up in November in beautiful Melbourne, Florida. What a great way to be able to study in November than in beautiful, warm Florida. So this is something that we actually give you to all of our Diamond Level members, is you have free admission to any live training course that we have around the country. So you get to be able to study the information at home, go to live courses, see a video of a live course that was taking place on the DVD, and in as little as 20 hours, literally, 8 hours of DVD watching, 8 hours of audio recording listening, and 4 hours of reading through the training manual, and you'll be able to submit your package to HUD for approval in as little as 7 to 10 days. What are you waiting for? So now, the regular price for the 203K Home Study course is $595. The 203K Elite Consultant Training and Mentoring Program and Certification System is $1797. And the Diamond Level membership is $591 for 3 months. Now, the Genesis and that Diamond Level membership includes 3 months of Genesis Rehab Reporting Program. So the total cost for this program, including everything that you see here, is $2,983. But as I showed you, that's only a little bit more than the price of your one job. So in as little as 2 projects of just $35,000 repairs, you can have this paid off in full. But we want you to get involved. We need consultants in Kentucky. makes my heart cringe to see any part of the country not have a consultant available to help a borrower who may be looking to use this. There's so many homes in distress. And we provide you with a full 61-day money-back guarantee on all training and support. You get the package, look it over for 2 months, and if you decide you don't want it, no problem, send it back, and you will be able to get a full refund of all money paid. In addition, we're going to give you something you can use right now. I talked about this in Kentucky, and I promised that I would mention it here today, and that's the Minimum Property Standards Reporting System. This is a quick PDF-based program that allows you to create unlimited number of reports, all while teaching you what to look for when it comes to minimum property standards. The Minimum Property Standard Reporting System is a value. It's a bargain at $400 for unlimited usage. We don't restrict the number of inspectors who you have in your company use it. We don't put a cap on the number of reports you create with it. For as long as you want it, it's yours. As an additional opportunity, you actually can invest in the Jumpstart Your Business, which is a 2 1.5-hour webinars where we actually help you get up to speed by teaching you how to market the program, how to be able to do it, and actually how to click through the program. We even show you how to create webinars on your own, like this one, where you actually can educate buyers and agents about minimum property standards. And as an additional opportunity, you can purchase the lifetime upgrades. Android devices have just made a recent change in the programming, and so we are actually working on an upgrade, and all of the individuals who want to use this on their handheld, their tablets, their smart devices, we're now upgrading it, and as a member, you get lifetime upgrades. And if your computer crashes and you lose the program, this $190 lifetime upgrade allows you to be able to get complete replacement of the system at the most current version. So now, what's the price of all this? I'm not even going to do the math, but it's $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, over $1,000 just in this, not to mention the fact that we give you PowerPoint presentations, again, customizable for you to give it audiences of agents and buyers. Not to mention turning this into a CEU course. So now we've given you all this information so that you have access to all these resources so that you can be able to be successful leveraging your skills as an FHA consultant. So what's the total cost for all of this? Well, the total cost for the Minimum Property Standard Bonus Package alone is $935, not including the extra bonuses of the PowerPoint shows that you can be able to give. And so all this is available for you to be able to take advantage of as an additional opportunity. But I'm going to do something even better. I'm going to give you the opportunity so that if you decide to invest in the 203K in a Box Genesis 203K Success System, we're going to give you the MPS system absolutely free as a bonus. So you're going to be able to get everything, the home study course, the Elite Consultant System, the 3-month of the actual, we're going to even extend this to 12 months of Diamond Level membership and 12 months of Genesis Rehab Reporting System membership. And it's not going to be $2,983. We're actually going to make this so easy, again, with a 61-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. We're going to give it to you for a special discounted price of just $197 a month for 12 months. In reality, you're getting the Elite Consultant Training System and the Home Study course absolutely free because it's the 3 months of Diamond Level membership is $197 a month. So you're able to get everything that you want, all of this, for the price of the Diamond Level membership for 1 full year. This is the lowest we have ever offered it to any audience. In February of this year, we offered it to an audience and sold it to them for $997. This is, and if you would prefer, you can actually have a single installment, and if you decide you want to do it in a single installment instead of the 12 payments of $197, we actually will knock off 3 months of those payments for you. And so you actually, if you decide to do a special investment, so for my irresistible offer for the first 25 people on this call, we will take off one of those payments for you. So it will, instead of being 12 installments of $197, it will be only 11 payments of $197. So $197 times 11 is only $2167. That's less than the price of the home study course and the Elite Consultant System. We're giving you your diamond level membership absolutely free. Why are we doing this when we could get $1,797 for this, or even $1,097 at a show price? Because we are so committed to growing the ranks of 203K Consultant. We need to make it so that you can be able to grow the ranks of our National Association. We need to have this opportunity. We need to spread the word. And you know, I want to tell you something. You see, here's the situation I want you to understand. My office manager, many of you met her, Samantha Ross, she's expecting her first child. She is cringing, and she actually gave me evil eyes when I told her I was going to do this. But I said I want to get the roles increased. I want to grow our membership now so that in the wintertime, when these inspectors are typically expecting their slowest time, they can do one job and equal what they would have gotten in 5, especially considering sometimes in the hard, cold winter, they're only getting 5 every 2 weeks, or some even only 5 a week. What if you could get one job a month that covered your expenses so that all the other home inspections that you get are just gravy? Wouldn't you be okay if you just got one? So let me tell you a little story. I think about the fact that once I was at last year in October, I went to a personal development training camp, and I was told that I needed to climb up this pole and then walk across this rope, hold and grab these grapevines and get to the other side. I was the last person to climb. I was terrified. I was afraid of doing it. And then while I was procrastinating, I got nervous and I just watched everyone else do it, and I felt so bad and I felt so afraid. Finally, it was my turn to go. And so I climbed up the poles, and you can see the rungs are not very evenly spaced. I got to the top, and I stood there and held the pole trying to reach this first rung, this first grapevine. But I couldn't, because the way it was positioned, I had to let go and reach for that grapevine before I had to let go of the pole before I could get to that next goal. Down below, all the other people who had successfully completed this course were there rooting me on, telling me, you've got to let go. You've got to release you've got to let go of the known and reach for the gold. You can't always trust your comfort zone. Fear is designed to keep you in your comfort zone because it's safe. But outside of safety, outside of your comfort zone, that's where growth develops. That's where we achieve all the good that we've ever had, all the goals that you've ever accomplished. They haven't happened inside your comfort zone. They happened outside. So I'm telling you that all you need to do is step outside your comfort zone, let go of that pole. Now, I had a safety harness on when I was climbing up this ladder, climbing up this pole, and as I reached for that grapevine. So I had a safety harness. And guess what? We here at NAFAC, we here at 203K in the Box, we're your safety net. We will keep you until you reach that next goal. And once you grab that first one, I can tell you this, the second, third, and fourth were easier to reach because I had already taken that first step. And by the time I knew it, I was climbing down the other side, safe, and not only safe and sound, but safe and satisfied because I had accomplished my goal. What's your excuse? Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Are you ready to step outside your comfort zone, to work smarter for more money instead of harder for more headaches? Would you like to experience the type of success that has allowed me to do amazing things for my life, for my community, for inspectors like you? Here's one of the things that 203K has allowed me to experience in freedom. Many of you recognize this person here and this person here. This is my daughter Samantha, who is now expecting her first child. And there is her beautiful, wonderful signature wedding that we were able to provide for her. And there you can see, right there in the back, right there in the corner, that's Michael Doran, our newest member of our 203K family. He's our customer service manager. And he was able to take off work to be able to come, and he saw how much we were able to provide for our daughter, all because of the 203K freedom that I was able to get. There's my wonderful son, Air Force officer and pilot, and all of our friends and family, my granddaughter, my grandson, all able to enjoy a beautiful wedding. Why? Because we were able to have the income potential that 203K provided me and the time to enjoy my life. 203K Consulting takes less time to do, fewer jobs to do to earn the income that you need. You're rebuilding neighborhoods, and you're all while having the satisfaction of not killing your knees, your back, lifting ladders, crawling in crawl spaces, and worrying about the liability and litigation that home inspection brings. So as I say, actually I don't say it, Louis L'Amour, a famous Western star, some say opportunities knock only once. That's not true. Opportunity knocks all the time, but you have to be ready for it. If the chance comes, you must have the equipment to take advantage of it. Well, I want you to know that we are on a mission, and we're not going to stop here. So don't be left behind. Don't be that person who is late in the party. We will be growing our ranks, and at this investment, there's no better way to do it. So sign up now, get certified by the end of October, be the leader in your market, and enjoy a profitable winter. This offer will end, the offer that you have of getting 11 payments will end this Friday. Now, I know that my office might not have been able to get the website set up for this offer. So what I'm going to ask you to do is expect an email from my staff tomorrow with the link that gives you the opportunity for the 11 payments of $197. Now, I want you to know that it will be a counter so that we have over 50 people on this webinar tonight, so that once the first 25 do take advantage of that, it will automatically roll to 12 payments of $197. If you're looking to make a single investment, as opposed to that, there will be an option to do that, and instead of making 12 payments, you only will make 9, which is $1,773, the base price, and you'll be fully invested and fully satisfied for a whole year. So don't wait, because if you do, you might be paying more. Take advantage now. Let go of what's comfortable. Go for what's great. So as I like to say, until I'm able to support you in the future, thank you again, and be outstanding. Good night. Good night, everyone. Oh, and by the way, if you have questions, please email us at info@203kinabox.com.